You're listening to the Following On Daily podcast. I'm Andrew McKenna alongside the former England bowlers Alex Tudor and Darren Gough to take a look back at the first day of the fourth test between India and England in Ranchi, with England closing on 302 for 7. We'll be reflecting on a 31st test match century for Joe Root, discuss just how good a score this is on this wicket, and we'll get reaction from both camps as well. So plenty to come over the next 20 minutes or so as you are listening to Following On. Well, let's take you right back to the start of the day. England winning the toss and batting. And once again, they got off to a decent start. Crawley and Duckett taking England past 40 for the opening wicket before Duckett was out, caught behind off the bowling of Akash for 11. That was 47 for 1. It became 47 for 2 just 2 balls later, as Akash had Ollie Pope LBW. He was coming down the pitch actually, and it was given not out on the LBW appeal. DRS though showed that it was hitting, and therefore the second wicket went down. The third also went to Akash. Crawley bowled for 42. 57 for 3. Akash had actually bowled Crawley earlier on in proceedings, much earlier on in the fourth over of the day when Crawley was on 4, but he'd overstepped. Root and Bairstow at the crease got England back into it. Before Bairstow was LBW to Ashwin for 38. That was 109 for 4. And Ben Stokes out to the final ball of the morning session. Yes, all of this before lunch, as he was LBW to Jadeja to a ball that essentially rolled. He was out for 3, 112 for 5. It hit so low on the pad that Ben Stokes just walked for the LBW shout. Laughing, by the way, as he did so. Folks joined Root after lunch. He made 47 before he was the 6th man out, caught by Jadeja off the bowling of Siraj and Hartley, but was 7th out with the score on 245. He went for 13, bowled by Siraj. But the highlight of the day, undoubtedly, Joe Root with his 31st Test match century, and it was a truly stunning innings. He finishes the day 106 not out for 226 balls, 9 fours, no sixes. Let's get the thought of Darren Gough and Alex Tudor. Goughy, you obviously know Joe Root very well. Just put some context on that innings for me.
Well, it's truly brilliant, and that's the Joe Root everybody's enjoyed watching over the years. He's a truly magnificent player. He's one of the best players in the world. People questioning his ability and his sense and some of the shots he's been playing. I think if you do look at the stats behind it, under Ben Stokes and McCullum, he's been truly magnificent, whether it be his strike rate, whether it be his average. He's played really, really well. Yes, he's trying to adapt to the playing style. It's not his natural game, but he's such a talented player. He can play it in any way possible. He's got all the shots all around the wicket, Joe. He's not someone who just plays a good hook shot or a good cover drive or a good back foot punch. He plays all around the ground. But today, in these conditions, winning the toss on this pitch, the pitch didn't look a great pitch, let's be honest. And that first hour and a half with the new ball, it was really difficult conditions. And that's why there were 5 down. And he had to dig in, good old Yorkshire spirit, and he showed it. And he's battered all the way through, kept the reverse sweep in the bag, brought it out once to the spin of Ashwin when he came back round the wicket after he'd bowled over the wicket for a while. And he's finished on 106 not out. And England, 302 for 7, have won the last 2 sessions. Brilliant.
Absolutely. Now, Alex Tudor, Goughy's just made the point there about the conditions. There's going to be a lot of people who haven't seen the day's play. I'll just go, well, hang on a minute, 219 balls for 100. He's gone back to playing the traditional way, the sensible way. Oh, he's gone back to playing the Joe Root way, and he's got 100. But actually, it was more about the conditions dictating Joe Root's style of play than anything else, wasn't it?
100%, Macca. You're dead right. And Harmy and I said it when we were on comms, where we were saying, listen, let's not get it twisted, as in regards of, as you rightly said, people are going to say, oh, he's gone back to playing the Joe Root way. He's gone back playing the situation, the wicket allowed him to play the way that he did, because You know, if you sort of heard like the third ball with Zak Crawley, who's like 6'6", and the ball was going at his throat, you're thinking your name is going to be on one. When that's the case, you don't need to over complicate it and play all these ramps and stuff like that. You just bat normally, take the runs that on show, and then keep out the good balls and just defend your wicket, and that's what he did. He soaked up pressure. He manoeuvred the ball extremely well. I always remember Ramps in my head saying, you know, you've got to accumulate. It's about accumulation. Don't just beat the ball all over the place. As Gough said, he has a gear. He can do that. He's not going to hit loads and loads of sixes, but what he does is he manoeuvres the fielders around. And that is the art of batsmanship. You need to manoeuvre the field and hit the ball where the fielders are not. That is how you score runs, and that's what he did today. He batted a lot of balls, 226 balls to get to his 106. He's had, you know, able supporters in Robinson, Leighton, Ben Folkes, you know, they stayed with him. And all these runs are so important for the first innings. Gough, I know he will come onto it, can't understand for the life of us why they didn't take the new ball. Makes no sense to us whatsoever when the new ball took 5 wickets in the first 24 overs. And then they haven't taken it, and then they're putting on Jalswar at the end. I mean, are they looking for it to go 5 days?
Well, let's come back to that in a bit. So 219 balls is the third slowest 100 that Joe Root has made in the 31. By the way, he's now only 2 behind Sir Alistair Cook at 33 for the most for England. Joe Root's 10th 100 against India. The only man in double figures against India. Steve Smith is next on 9. And this is the one that leaps out for me. They always talk about doing it in first innings. That's when, you know, first innings runs counts. 31st 100, 23 of those have now been in England's first innings. So either the first or the second innings of the match.
Well, that's setting up the game. But most people will tell you second innings hundreds are the hardest. And that's what Kane Williamson is the king of. But Joe Root, look, he's a world-class player, one of the best. He gets, for me, criticism sometimes when he doesn't deserve it. He's got up, like I say, Joe can play a white ball, can play a red ball, he can play all around the wicket, he's got all the shots. Today, he had nothing to worry about except batting. He didn't come on the back of England chasing down a score of 350, and they've got to score because the pitch is deteriorating, so you're trying to keep up and trying to get a score to dominate. Today he's just concentrated on batting and batting long, and he's put England in an unbelievable position in this game.
We have to mention the fact that England could have been all out quite early on in the proceedings. I mentioned that Zak Crawley was bowled by Akash in the 4th over, but it was a no ball. Crawley was on 4 at that point. He went on to make 42. Ben Duckett was LBW, or had a big shout for LBW from Jadeja. The umpire's call was not out on DRS. That was inside 9 overs. Joe Root, bizarre one when the score was on 111 in the 23rd over, was given out. He went to DRS, and the third umpire decided that there was a waveform, but it looked to our eyes that waveform was the bat hitting the pad because the ball was actually yet to get to the bat. And if it's gone to the ball tracking, it would have been very close. He was also technically dropped on 48, a little paddle down the leg side off of Kuldeep. It was given as leg byes, but it was straight off the middle, off the blade. Okay, it was a very, very difficult chance, but it is a technical one. Robinson dropped by Jurel off of Jadeja when everyone thought it was a drop, but it wasn't. He'd missed it, and actually it was stone cold LBW. By that point, though, India had burnt all their reviews. What we're saying is, it could have been a very different day today, boys, isn't it?
Yeah, it could have been a day where England didn't even get to 150. That's the way it was going. We were saying anything in the 200 is looking good. I mean, they've made a mockery of that now, but sometimes you do need a chance, and it's what you do with that chance. You go on and punish teams, and what good players do, and that's what Joe Root does, is that he's not going to give you too many chances, and he's just gone on and got a magnificent 100. And that's what it is. You know, the game of sport, it's about inches. You know, you're a hero one day, villain the other. But it's when you sort of grasp it and you see that opportunity, make them pay, go big. You know, Graham Gooch in your head, Daddy 100, you've got to go big. And he's had able supporters, as I said, in Folkes and Robinson to get him up to 300. They go again in the morning, try and get to 350, keep India out there, keep your bowlers bowling. They're a little bit tired. You know, the captain, Rohit Sharma's got decisions to make, so his mind's not going to be quite fresh when it comes to batting. And then Jimmy Anderson, Ollie Robinson and the spinners can go to work.
I'm going to ask what is probably a pretty impossible question to answer, but I've got to ask it. 302 for 7 after being 112 for 5. What is a good score on this pitch?
Well, I've no idea, because I think you've just talked about there every opportunity that India have had to wrap up this innings, whether it be umpiring or whether it be captaincy decisions. Because with the new ball, we just talked about it, with the new ball, England were 5 down pretty quickly. It was uneven, two-paced, up and down. The last 2 sessions, England have lost 2 wickets when they've mainly gone with their spin. The 2 wickets went to seam again, reverse swing. They had the option to take a new ball and wrap up that innings pretty quick. Now, they didn't do it. And that was a strange decision when you consider they've only took 2 wickets in those last 2 sessions. And they had the opportunity in that first session where the new ball took all the wickets. Waiting till tomorrow morning, it's given England a partnership there between Robinson and Root. And like I said, 302 for 7. They'll be thinking England, they're in a great position. A great position. Yes, we don't know. We always said it. We don't know until India bat. They're used to these conditions. They've played here before. The players have all played in these conditions, and is their own country. So they might go out and smash 450. We don't know, right? But from experience and looking at the pitch and looking how it reacted that first session and what could happen, and let's see how the new ball reacts tomorrow, we'll get a better idea whether England have got a score already that's a match-winning score.
I was just going to say, I think the key for England is the spin, as in regards of, you know, our spinners are new to Test cricket. Even though they've been taking wickets, they do bowl bad balls, at least 2 and over. So it's how the Indian players set upon batting against them. I don't think Jimmy Anderson and Ollie Robinson are going to go for loads, because they give you that sort of control. Even if they're not taking wickets, they give you control. The other thing will be, will India think, listen, Ollie Robinson, he's already taken a tablet. He's only just been out there batting. Let's get him bowling spells. Is he going to be able to come back and bowl spells? That would be an issue. Then you're putting more pressure on the seamers. Is Ben Stokes going to bowl a few overs? I don't think he's going to bowl spells. Let's get that out of our head. He might bowl the odd over, especially seeing the wicket, what it's doing. So that's going to be interesting. But I think it's how India's batters play our spinners. They will get bad balls and they will jump on it. It's just how consistent are our spinners going to be compared to Jadeja and Ashwin.
On the non-taking the new ball, I mean, we were counting it down from about 5 overs out. The last wicket, the 7th wicket, goes down at 245 for 7, halfway through the 76th over. So they're 4.5 overs away from a new ball. And at that point, you're thinking, blow the tail away. This 8th wicket has now put on 62, which, I mean, as Gough just said, we just don't know at the moment what a good score is. But 62 feels a hell of a lot down this part of the order. So put me in your fast bowlers' minds. Why are you not taking it this evening?
Well, Batter there, your captain, and I just can't get the thinking. Bumrah would have been playing, they'd have taken that new ball. I have no doubt whatsoever. I just don't see all the chat there surely comes out. In the morning session, seamers bowled. They were making England look uncomfortable with a new ball. We were 5 wickets down for 100. Spinners have come on. They've taken, well, do you know what I mean? They've struggled to take wickets. We've got 2 wickets in the last 2 sessions. They had an opportunity there where Siraj had got into nice rhythm, bowling a good length and line, and if he had just had 2 overs with the new ball and tried Akash with 2 or 3 overs from the other end and then finish with spin for an over or 2, there would have been nothing wrong with that. You would have, and then you would have still had to go with a new ball tomorrow morning. I'm absolutely gobsmacked they didn't take the new ball tonight, but hey, it gives us all a chance to have another look tomorrow morning, see what it does, and I think new ball will be vital in this whole match. We saw it in the first innings this morning. We'll see it when India have the second new ball, and then we'll see it when Robinson and Anderson take it.
Let's take you through the bowling figures. Mohammad Siraj, 13 overs, 3 maidens, 2 for 60. Akashdeep, 17 overs, 3 for 70. 3 no balls in there. That is something he's going to need to keep an eye on. Ravindra Jadeja, 27 overs, 7 maidens, 1 for 55. Ravichandran Ashwin, 22 overs, 1 maiden, 1 for 83. Kuldeep Yadav's 10 overs, 3 maidens, 0 for 21. And we found out something today. Yashasvi Jaiswal, there's something in cricket he can't do. It would appear to be bowl, because that 1 over he bowled at the end of the day was pretty filthy. 1 over went for 6 runs. Right, let's get into the England camp, get some reaction to day one's first action of this 4th Test match. Zak Crawley speaking with our reporter Cameron Ponsonby.
Zak, your reflections on the first day?
Really good day for us. Joe played an unbelievable knock there as well, but a couple of decent cameos from Folksy and Johnny as well, so we're in a good position.
Ben Stokes obviously got a shocker with the pitch. There's been so much talk about it. How did it play in the end? What's a good score?
I said, actually, when I got out, I felt like around 300 would be a really good score, and we obviously around that point now. I felt like it was really hard. It was doing quite a bit with the new ball, but actually it was a bit easy against the spin, and then when the ball got softer, it was easy against the seam and a bit harder against the spin. So it's just reading the situation well, and then you can get a decent score like we did today.
Another word about Joe Root. It's his 91st score of 50 or more for England. In a must-win match, how much confidence does it give the changing room to see one of the legends of English cricket stepping up like that?
Yeah, we had no doubts, to be honest. We knew it was coming. It's just a matter of time. You know, he gets runs all the time. The fact that he didn't score as many as he'd have wanted in the first few games, we knew it was coming, and it might not have seemed like that from the outside, but we've always backed Joe. He's the best player who's ever played for England, and he's fantastic.
His partnership with Ben Folkes was so crucial. Folkes obviously going in, the ball after Stokes gets one that rolls along the floor. How difficult is it to keep calm in the dressing room and not potentially try and put your foot down and hit yourself out of trouble, and then bat through to the end of the day with only losing 2 more wickets?
Yeah, it's really impressive how well they judged the situation. Like, they didn't react by the ball that got Stokesy, which was obviously unplayable. They just went about their own business, and even Johnny came in and played it differently, saw it differently. Like, tries to seize the initiative and play more aggressive, and that worked as well. And that's what we did well today. We played the situation, we read the situation well, and those boys put on that partnership was huge for us.
That morning session was so entertaining as someone watching on. Was it fun to be a part of? Are you aware that of when the runs are flowing and the wickets are falling, that you're putting on a show?
Yeah, of course. We know that's good cricket, but it was a good contest. We were trying to throw some punches back. They were obviously bowling really well. Mukesh bowled really well. Akash, sorry. And it was really enjoyable being out there. It was obviously really tough at points. When I got hit on the finger, 3rd ball, I wasn't enjoying it as much. But no, it was a good challenge.
That delivery, can you clear it up for us? Was it just a good bounce, or did it lift more than you were expecting?
Well, I would say it lifted more than I expected. Yeah, I didn't think I knew it was back of a length, but I don't think it should have hit me where it hit me. But that's where the pitch. It's a bit uneven bounce, and it's good for both sides.
You're over against Siraj, where I think you took him for 4 consecutive boundaries, 3 4s and a 6. Is that a conscious decision on your part to kind of take the attack back to the bowlers, or was it 4 balls which you just thought were in your area?
No, that one on that occasion was definitely a conscious attack. The over before was a good over, and I felt like there was one with my name on it soon, so I had to throw something back, and I chose to do that over, and it came off, and then managed to get a couple more away after that. But it was a shame that I got out when I didn't get a few more, but I was pleased with how I played.
Joe and Ollie have obviously put on a great partnership at the end of the day here. Was there any talk in the changing room if 1 or 2 fell and Joe Root was one of them, that you might declare and have a bowl at India tonight?
That wasn't the talk here. No, it wasn't the same. It's a different situation to that Ashes. We all at that time thought that was the right decision. In India, when the pitch is only going to get worse, I think that conversation will probably happen a bit less.
Coming back tomorrow, you said you'd be happy with 300. We're on 300 now, almost exactly. what are you setting your sights on? Trying to scrape up to 350, or is anything possible with Joe at the crease?
Yeah, I wouldn't even want to say a number, to be honest. With Joe and even Robert looked really good at the end there. So with those two at the crease, you don't want to put a limit on those boys. They can go out and do anything tomorrow. So we'll see where we go. What we did well today was we didn't get ahead of ourselves. We just played the situation. So they just got to do that in the morning. Play every ball one at a time, one over at a time, and Robert's got the talent to get a nice 50, and Joe's got the talent to do whatever he wants. So we'll see.
Zach, thanks very much. Best of luck tomorrow.
Appreciate it.
Zak Crawley speaking with Cameron Ponsonby. Darren, Gough, Alex, Tudor, we're getting close to the end. Just one thing, though, to go back to the whole thing about the pitch. When we first saw it an hour or so before play started, I mean, it looks abysmal. If you rocked up in your car for the local third 11, it basically looks like someone's sort of waxed some stumps in it, put some white line on, and said, off you go. I mean, you get back in your car, wouldn't you, if you saw that in a local club third 11?
Well, looks dry. There is cracks. Jigsaw puzzle type. Don't know if it was moving. I've not been on the pitch itself and tested that. If you get moving plates, that's when it becomes really dangerous. But I think we've seen before cracks. Yeah, you get high quality seamers putting the ball in the right areas, the right length. It becomes very difficult for the batting side to survive and score, because you're going to get two paces off the cracks and off the normal grass, and then you're going to get up and down. And as the game goes on, it tends to exaggerate that movement up and down. So that's why batting first was hugely important for England. They've put themselves in a good position. After the first session, you're more likely really to get out with a ball that shoots along the ground. Ben Stokes was unlucky. He got one early. If your name's on one of them, you can't do anything about it. But if that's happening against a spinner, can you imagine if you were bowling at 80, 85 miles per hour and putting it in those right areas and it rolls? You've no chance. So as the game goes on, I expect to see more of those. And that's why, again, batting first is a game changer.
Right then, so we're basically out of time. So one more question, and I mean, you're going to give it, give me a number as an answer. No sort of long drawn out. England's first innings total will be, Alex Tudor.
350.
Darren Gough.
325.
I'll go 365, one for every day of the year then. You'll find out in the morning whether we're even remotely close. We'll be back just before 4 a.m. for the start of day 2 of the 4th Test match. Day 1. It's been an absolute belter, exclusively live here on talkSPORT 2.
On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.